The Council has become too entangled in the affairs of politicians, too willing to serve the Republic instead of the Force itself. That is not our way. That is not the way. The Jedi were once seekers of balance, of truth, of understanding. Now they are little more than enforcers of law, guardians of bureaucracy. You see, my old master, Count Dooku, understood this long before I did. He saw the cracks forming in the Order, the slow erosion of what we were meant to be. He taught me that the Jedi Code is not a cage, but a guide, an epistemological framework through which we interpret the Force. To follow it blindly, without question, without understanding, is to walk in darkness and call it light. Dooku gave me a lesson that has never left me. I was young, reckless, frustrated at my own limitations. I asked him how to silence my anger, how to rid myself of it. And he laughed. He told me, "You do not silence the storm, my Padawan. You listen to it. You learn from it. You let it pass. And only then do you act." The Council does not listen. They react, they enforce, they obey. But obedience is not wisdom. To trust in the Force is not to sit in high towers and deliberate over the will of men. It is to feel the currents of the galaxy and move with them. That is why I refuse. That is why I walk my own path. You are my Padawan, Obi-Wan, and I do not expect you to agree, but I do expect you to understand.
The Force does not fear anger. The universe does not resist fury. The stars do not reject the storm. So why should you? You stand before me, silent, but I see the storm within you. You have encountered something that has shaken you, something unjust. You feel anger, frustration, perhaps even hatred. And now, you hesitate, wondering if you should push it aside. Banish it, as the Jedi Code teaches. But tell me, is it not true that to understand something, one must face it? Look at the trees, my apprentice. When the wind howls, they do not break. They bend, they move, yet they remain rooted in the earth. Should they stand rigid, they will shatter. Your emotions are the wind, but your spirit must be the tree. Do not resist, nor collapse. Find the balance between motion and stability. The Jedi teach control, but control is a dangerous thing. A man who grips his sword too tightly finds his hand weary when battle comes. The Council would have you believe that emotions must be contained, locked away, denied their power. But what happens to the dam that holds back a mighty river? Eventually it bursts, and when it does, the flood is devastating. True mastery is not in caging your emotions. It is in understanding them. You must not become their prisoner nor their jailer. You must become their guide. Do not suppress what you feel. Observe it. Stand firm as the river does before the rain. The river does not resist. It flows. The storm does not seek permission to rage. Yet the sky does not fear it. The sun does not shun the darkness. It knows that it must set so that it may rise again. You are no different. Your anger is not your enemy. It is a force, like the wind, like the tides. If you turn away from it, it will fester in the shadows of your mind. But if you look upon it with clarity, You will see its nature, and in doing so, master it. Breathe. Close your eyes. Feel the anger, but do not let it consume you. See yourself as the vast ocean, infinite, boundless. Your anger is but a wave, rising and falling, transient. It is not the ocean itself. It does not define you. Watch it, acknowledge it, but remain unmoved. Now, see it as the fire of a star. If left unchecked, it devours all in its path. But if controlled, it gives light, warmth, energy. What lesson does this fire offer? Can you take its power and shape it into something greater? A warrior who knows his blade does not fear its edge, and you, apprentice, must not fear the edge of your own emotions. The universe moves in cycles, creation and destruction, light and dark, order and chaos. The moon does not weep when it wanes, nor does the tide refuse to retreat when the time comes. To fight these cycles is to fight the nature of existence itself. Instead, move with them. Let anger arise, but do not let it rule you. Acknowledge, examine, transform. That is mastery. The Jedi Council will tell you to suppress, to cut yourself off from emotion entirely. They fear the fire because they do not trust themselves to wield it. But I ask you, when the night grows cold, do you not seek warmth? When the path is dark, do you not seek light? To reject the fire is to sit in the cold and call it wisdom. Instead, learn from it. Use its heat to temper your resolve, to illuminate what is hidden, to drive away the shadows, but never let it consume you. That is the true path to wisdom. And yet, so many Jedi fear emotion, believing detachment is the path to enlightenment. But what is wisdom, if not understanding? What is control, if not knowledge of the self? You must not become a hollow vessel, void of feeling. The Jedi are not machines, nor are they statues of lifeless stone. To deny emotion is to deny the Force itself. It is not rejection that brings balance. It is mastery. So tell me now, apprentice, what will you do with your anger? Will you cast it away only to have it return stronger? Or will you take it, shape it, and make it serve you? The tree bends in the storm, yet remains standing. The river flows, but does not drown. The stars burn, but do not consume themselves. The choice is yours, but know this: the Force is with you, always.